What's up, Three Crosses kids? Today I will be showing you, me and my sister will be showing you about all the miracles that Jesus has done this month. Let's check it out. Wow!
Hey, Three Crosses kids, this is God's Word. In God's words, Jesus did miracles. Jesus turned water into wine. And my dad, Pastor Austin, is going to talk about it. Did you know in God's Word, someone walked on water?
Well, hey, Three Crosses kids, Pastor Austin here, and I got the first story that we learned this month. And it was in the book of John, chapter 2, where Jesus is invited to a wedding. Have you guys been to a wedding? Let's just say, if you haven't, it's an awesome party where you celebrate someone, like a birthday party or like a graduation party. But I want you to think about a pizza party. Of course, at a pizza party, what do you got? You got pizza! You gotta have pizza at a pizza party. But let's just say, for example, this pizza party ran out of pizza. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Well, just like this wedding that Jesus was at, they ran out of wine, and everyone's like, what do? We need to celebrate. We ran out of wine. And so Jesus, in this moment, he was like, hey, I want to do something to show God's kingdom, and he does a miracle. He does a miracle. He says, pour in these jars water, and out of the water, when it was poured, wine came out, and it was the best ever.
Cheers.
From heaven. Heavenly wine. You gotta think about that. And so just like when we're thinking about our pizza party, imagine we ran out of pizza, we don't know what to do, and all of a sudden you go to the last box, you're like, oh man, there's nothing in there. Then you close the box and reopen it, and it's the best pizza you could ever have. Isn't that amazing? And so, hey, what was the big idea that we learned, Scarlett?
This is miracles show his kingdom.
The second story we learned this month was in Matthew chapter 14, where Jesus, he did some teaching. He's telling everyone who he is and what he's gonna do for us. And after that, he told the disciples to get in a boat. You guys been in a boat? They're awesome. And they went onto the Sea of Galilee. Meanwhile, Jesus went out to pray, and then he's like, I'm gonna meet up with my disciples. And so he started walking to them. What? Yeah, he started walking to them. And then he started walking on water all the way to them, where no one's ever seen that. Jesus is walking on water to the point where the disciples see someone walking on water and they're like, it's a ghost! And Jesus is like, no, it's just me. And then a guy named Peter, someone just like us, is like, hey, if it's you, then tell me to come out. And he's like, come on, Peter, come out of the boat. And so he hops out of the boat, and what happens? Yeah, a miracle! Peter starts walking on water. Have you guys ever walked on water? I mean, we can try like this, or like maybe like this, but we've never actually done that. That's kind of wild, because Jesus performs miracles. He does a miracle with someone just like us. And meanwhile, Peter's like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. There's waves, I'm walking on water. And in his mind, he starts sinking. Blup, blup, blup. Oh man. But then Jesus, because he loves us, he's all about us, he grabs him and he goes, hey, guess what? I want you to know, don't have doubt. You have little faith. Have faith in me. Isn't that amazing? And so we learned an awesome big idea. What was it, Scarlett?
Jesus has power over creation.
And now we're on our last and final third story, and it was found in Mark chapter 5, and we learned it's kind of scary. It's a little bit scary. Have you guys ever been scared before? Maybe of the dark, maybe of some weird noises in your house, but then in the end, your mom or your dad or your uncle, your aunt, your grandpa, they come and save us, and it's so awesome. Well, it's kind of like this story in Mark chapter 5, where there's this guy, kind of just like us, who had these evil spirits in him. And so he wasn't even controlling himself. He was doing wild things. And actually, even people were so scared of him, they started to hurt him. They started to chain him. They started to keep him away from people because he was scary and different. And what did Jesus do in that moment? He saw this person, And in fact, he called out to him and he says, "What is your name?" And he found out that all these evil spirits in him. And in that he says, "Get out of them." Isn't that amazing? And by the power of his voice, all of these spirits got out and he sent them into these pigs, and these pigs went wild and they jumped in the water, and it was like a whole crazy thing. I wish I was there to see it. But in that moment, this person who was just like us felt saved. He was rescued, and he came to Jesus and says, "I want to follow you for the rest of my life." And Jesus said, "That's amazing. But I want you to stay here and tell everyone that knows you what had happened and show this amazing miracle that you are because you trusted in me and I rescued you." Isn't that an awesome story? What was the big idea that we learned?
Jesus has power over Satan and demons. Did you know that God is powerfuler than anything in the entire universe? Nothing can destroy him. He can blow up anything.
It is so cool. We have a God who loves us so much. He loves us and will do whatever it takes for us to know who he is. And he will do these amazing miracles in order that we know his grace, his love, his power. And so I want you guys to know that Jesus came to this earth. He died for you to show that he has power over death, right? Because he rose from the dead after 3 days out of the grave. And if we say, "I want to follow him," we are saved. So remember that we have a God that does miracles, we have a God who loves us, and we have a God that's going to use you to build his kingdom.
Jesus doesn't do magic,
He does miracles.
Jesus performs miracles. I can't wait to see you guys on this Sunday, and I hope you have an awesome summer. Bye.